Hey, this is Shipathala, and today I thought I would try something different. I'm in a premiere event right now, and I just finished round one, and I thought I would try and make the videos faster by watching replays and commentating that way. It's not as exact since I'm not making the plays as I talk about them, but I want to see how much faster I can get it done, and if I can get this round up before the third round hopefully even starts. Okay, so this is the deck. The only difference is one more Jace, one less Elspeth, and one more Edge in the board because someone had my Elspeth. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the match. So this is my opener, which is totally fine. So I start with the border post, and of course the wall. Go ahead and play the second wall here. I could try and play around Pulse by leaving a gate open, but that's kind of a slow way to play, so I just played the second wall. And on this turn, this was a pretty crucial play here. Playing Jace and using +2 right here. if he pulses my walls and kills Jace, that puts me so far behind that I'm probably going to lose no matter what. And if that doesn't happen, I'm pretty far ahead that I'm pretty much going to win no matter what. So I looked at a leech and I let him keep it. So he bit blasts one of the walls and hits a Bloodbraid Elf. So that's pretty much the same as pulsing. And he hits the pulse as well, so I take some damage this turn. So I have to day. And he gets some 1/1s, and I'm just going to run out the second day the next turn. And I assumed he would play the leech as well, and he did. So I drew a Mind Spring this turn, which is pretty crucial, but ended up drawing me just a bunch of planes. So my opponent has a bunch of cards in his hand, 5 lands, and he's not playing anything. And that tells me that he has a number of removal spells in his hand. So that I probably could have brainstormed with Jace here, but he could also have had a lightning bolt, and that would have been just as bad, I think. So he plays a Garruk, and I path the guy, and I attack Garruk with the knight, and him with the colonnade. And he ends up terminating the colonnade. So he's killed 3 colonnades. And on this turn, I pathed the Bloodbraid Elf when I could have pathed a leech, gone to 2. I did that though because it's really risky going to 3 or less, because then any Blightning or Lightning Bolt is a win for them. So instead I planned on drawing something to deal with leech in the next 2 turns, and just not letting him have a bolt as an out. So I felt like I should have won this game. I just drew a lot of lands, so that's how it goes sometimes. And I guess one of the problems with this is I can't show you how I boarded, but it was mostly the same. But I left in days and Jaces because I saw Garuk, so those are good against Garuk. Okay, so this is game 2, and I kept a hand that wasn't that exciting, but I'm not about to mulligan that hand. So I ended up missing my third land drop, but I had a border post, so... And he took my third land drop miss as a sign that he should be aggressive, and he pulsed my wall. And I guess that was also because he doesn't have any red mana. So I chose not to play the second border post on this turn, because I didn't want to get them pulsed. If you pulsed 1, that would be fine, but if you pulsed 2, that would be pretty bad. But on the following turn, I had the option of playing Knight and border post, or just Knight, or playing Elspeth and the border post. And I chose to play Elspeth and the border post because I figured he would be pulsing the Elspeth and not the border post. And that's what he did. And then I was able to play Sphinx this turn, and that's exactly why I made that play. And since I could see the Jace on top, I decided not to play the Knight. I let him keep a prism, and that was the end of this game. So this game I kept a pretty good hand. I had a turn 1 border post, and I left Flash Freeze mana open. And I also played this Marsh Flats on turn 2 in case I drew a Knight at the White Orchid. I guess it didn't matter too much because I had less lands than him even if I played a land this turn. But normally it would matter. So I kept leaving up Flash Freeze mana, and he didn't play anything still. And I decided not to Flash Freeze that because it just didn't do enough, and I would rather save the Flash Freeze. And also because he knows I have Flash Freeze, so I know he's trying to bait me. So I chose not to path the second dragon because the second dragon didn't really do that much by itself. And I'd rather save the path for basically just an emergency situation. And then he Ruin Blasted me, and that's another card that I'm not going to Flash Freeze. And then played Lightning, and I chose to Flash Freeze that because it's either going to hit the Flash Freeze or the Baneslayer, and I'd rather just keep the Baneslayer in my hand. And I drew a wall and played it here. And don't forget to never run out the second Baneslayer, even if they don't have a pulse yet, because pulse is one of their only outs. So he hit it here, and that's fine because I have another one. I chose not to animate Colonnade and kill him. I could have done that by pathing his dragon with the Colonnade after attacking, but I didn't want to. I thought he could have had a Bit Blast. So if he did have one and I just attacked with Baneslayer, he would have to play it. But if I animated Colonnade and he Bit Blasted the Colonnade, he could kill the Baneslayer as well with a Pulse, which would be lucky, but it's not worth the risk since this game plan's pretty much going to kill him anyway. And so he didn't have it and didn't get an answer on the next turn. And hopefully I can post this pretty quickly and move on to round 2.